there. So you mentioned water permits, one, and two, doing business in Ecuador. Should I be worried about either of those?
Business in Ecuador, absolutely not. Its progress is being made. The government is completely committed to developing the mining industry. It needs to as a financial imperative to fund its social infrastructure programs, to fund its budget deficit. It needs to continue the progress that's been made in recent years. And every signal that the government makes is about supporting that, about mining industry being a core part of the economy. So I would say don't worry about that, although I should also say that there's a presidential election coming up in the second week of February next year. Now, why that is not a real risk is because the mining sector in Ecuador is now apolitical. It's such a crucial part of the economy, and the government is so committed to receiving foreign direct investment, foreign exchange earnings, job creation, and tax revenue from the mining sector, whether you are radical left-wing, centrist, or right-wing, you actually need the mining sector to pay for all of this.
But you also need the social license on a more local level. You described that. So, how do you manage that? And I know Freddie's got a few initiatives going, but perhaps tell me why I should not be concerned, because Freddie's got it all under control on that front.
The social license to operate is an ongoing thing. You can't not look after it for 6 months or weeks or a year. It's an ongoing process. It really helps that we are Ecuadorian. The Salazar Resources is incredibly well respected within Ecuador. Adventus Mining has brought in Nobis Group as a shareholder, and they are a well respected business conglomerate. So at every level, Salazar Resources and Adventus are not just doing the right things, but being seen to do the right things. There's a kind of a funny anecdote that there's a nationwide anti-mining organization within Ecuador championing trying to stop mining across Ecuador, and their representative in Curipamba, where we've been for the last 13 years, spent 2 years trying to drum up local resistance to the mining idea, and he had to leave after 2 years because he couldn't get any traction with the locals. I mean, I could easily go into detail about the football teams, about all the local initiatives, but really I think it's a key thing to realize that we're absolutely focused on making sure that the social license is no impediment to the development and the economic progress of Curipamba or any of our other projects.
Right.
Sorry, does that answer the question?
Well, it does actually, because you look at things like the recent Rio Tinto story, which is out in the press. Are you aware of that?
I am, yes.
Right. Because that's a case in point where I do get concerned that companies do have the social license to operate, and if they don't, I think it could be problematic. But
I think it's very easy to have your social license or your community, your CSR program as a box ticking exercise. To feel, there's a movement towards enhanced ESG. We've got to be warm and fuzzy, and let's go and hug a tree and hold hands with a protester, and therefore everything will be all right. In a sense, those are soft issues, but it feels very, very different for Salazar Resources. Remember that this is an Ecuadorian company. It's got an Ecuadorian heritage, and this isn't just an exercise in cosmetic. It's not a cosmetic program. This is their people. But one of the reasons Curipamba was found was because our chief geologist was from the local community and had always wondered what the geology was. This is it's in their backyard, so there's a hard edge to the economic rationale behind having a social license to operate that we fully understand. But more than that, it's actually part of our DNA and our culture.